It looks like we are live, folks. Live once again for another stream. Of course, I had to make sure to address the public, the D-Spot crowd, because you know what time it is. It is time to bring you some of that goodness. The latest updates surrounding Planet Barça are exciting. So, it called for an emergency multi-stream broadcast. Coming to you live on the Instagrams, on the Twitters, on the YouTubes, on the Kick and the Twitch. Yes, indeed, we are back with another D-Spot. So, the title says it all. Nico Williams is game once again. It is looking to be the novel once more this summer. It was last time. He missed that train. It looked like negotiations had stalled completely and that there was some sort of a boycott ban. Certainly, the club relationships have not improved since then. I would say, go so far to say even deteriorate. But now, yesterday, all of the outlets, all of the reputable names, those in the know, confirmed that Felix, Nico Williams's agent, was spotted in a hotel with Deco, and that the conversation was indeed the willingness being expressed from the Williams camp to once again start the conversation of a chance, of a possibility that Nico Williams could end up playing under Hansi Flick. That is the talk around the town. I'm being distracted here because I see that the Instagram video is stuck. So I don't know if anybody can drop a comment in the comment section from the Instagram feed, the live feed, to confirm. Otherwise, I'm gonna Isidro. ¿Qué pasa, Isidro? I don't like the fact that the image seems to be. I might end it and then start it again. Hold on. So yeah, drop your. While I'm gonna reboot the Instagram stream, please drop your comments in the comment section if you have any questions, or just let me know. Do you like the idea of a Nico Williams joining the likes of Lamine Yamal, Alejandro Balde, of course, all of them good friends. Hold on a second. Streaming error. Streaming the Instagram. Yeah. Continue. I'm going to try to do this again. Live video. And again, sorry for the interruptions as well. By the way, for those of you, while I'm rebooting the Instagram live stream, for those of you joining from Churros Patreon, our sincere and heartfelt apology for the technical error. I mean, we literally recorded, I would say, a good hour and a half long Churros. And right around the same time, highly unfortunately, Google iCloud was having issues, and therefore the video wasn't saved, and it's gone. It's disappeared. So hugely disappointing that, but it is what it is. Kian and I will be back obviously Monday with another D-Spot, but the patrons, yeah, you guys, we'll try to make it up some sort of way. See this perhaps as also a makeup, because I will be sharing this on the Patreon page. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, head on over to patreon.com/churros y tácticas for the goodness between Kian and myself. Like I said, it was a good one. It was an hour and a half. We answered a lot of your questions, and hold on. So how do I do this now? I need to add the stream key. Can I still do it? I can't do it. Maybe I just have to skip this one on the Instagrams. I don't know how to add the stream key now. What's up, Ebby? What's up, Abraham? Please continue to drop your comments. Can you turn down your background audio a little bit? It's overshadowing your voice. Okay. I appreciate that. Abraham, you're saying the Instagram live stream is not working at all. No, I know. I had to stop it. So, but now I don't know how to add the stream key without having to end this one entirely as well. Oh, man. I lack fluidity when it comes to the multi live stream options here. Forget it. I'm going to give up. I don't want to stall anymore. I want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to get into these talking points, and I want to show you guys as well some of the headlines of today's and yesterday's portadas, the front pages here of the local news in Spain. We see here, these are today's pages. Mundo Deportivo talking about Luis Diaz still being option A, the preferred option over a Nico Williams. And according to reports, Deco made that known as well, that the option most preferred by Hansi Flick and the Barça coaching staff remains the player of Liverpool, knowing, of course, the difficulties that a possible signing and negotiation would entail when it comes to the player of the Colombian player, Luis Diaz, because of his price tag mainly, right? I mean, we're talking 85 million, 85 seems to be the ballpark figure that is being tossed up. And that for Barça is, of course, a hell of a price tag given the current situation that they're in. Meanwhile, the buyout clause for a Nico Williams is a lot more asequible in that regard, a lot more approachable or feasible, let's say, for Barça at the moment. I think it stands around the 56 million mark, given his age. If you have to put two boxes like together, right? Like a case, let's say, in terms of pros and cons, and you go down the list of boxes, Nico Williams, in my opinion, ticks more of those boxes as opposed to a Luis Diaz, despite the fact that, you could definitely argue the case that Luis Diaz certainly at the moment is the better football player. I don't think that there's much doubt about that. However, the risk to reward ratio and the ceiling, I think, for Nico is potentially higher. He's a lot younger. He's 24 years old. A lot, meaning he still has to peak, in my opinion, in his career. I would say that Luis Diaz is peaking at the moment, and he's fantastic. I'm not saying he's not. And I've discussed these before, right? Skill, Luis Diaz, you're getting the better football player. Age, Nico Williams wins that box. Adaptability, or let's say, how the player will adjust, right? The adjustability, adaptability to a new team, new system. Nico, in my opinion, wins that one, mainly because of the fact that there's already very good synergy between, obviously, the players I mentioned before, Lamine, Balde, Gavi. All those guys are very tight. I mean, you see that every time they get together in the for the Spanish national side. And the reason I want to pull up this image as well is because, look, initially, and I remember this game at the Montjuic, Barça won 2-1, and this happened after the game, and Hansi was asked about it, and he didn't hide his fondness for the young Spanish forward. And I just like this smirk right here. Look at Nico's face. It's a little smirk that says a lot. I think a picture, when they say says 1,000 words, that smirk right there in this picture, it shows the admiration or the good synergy, at least, that there is between both sides. Again, Hansi was very open in the press conference when I think he said that he liked him. Obviously, the Athletic Club Banda gang side didn't take kindly to that at all, and the relationships have definitely deteriorated over the course of this past few years between Athletic Club and Barça. Why? I don't really know. I think it's more on their side. They have a hostility towards us that you don't see with many other clubs. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with jealousy as well. You know, they hate us because they ain't us, but and they have their own pride and silliness going on over there. I think for me personally, it's always been a club that I didn't mind. I initially, you know, in '90s and early 2000s, thought that there would be more reason for us to be more of a brotherly club as opposed to really opposing, like, you know, have this big rivalry for some reason. It's but hostile rivalry. I mean, anyway, it is what it is. Like I said, it's more them towards us than the other way around. Although it does get, you know, se te toca los cojones every time they treat you. Even in the last game now, I mean, you see how how hostile the players are with ours. The tackles is just ridiculous, even when there's nothing to play for. It's anyway. It is what it is. The point is, if Hansi, Deco, Laporta sees it feasible, if they want Nico Williams, it's not going to stop them from putting the 56 million to acquire the services of this very talented young man who would fit like a glove for the reasons that are obvious that I mentioned: the friendships, synergy, the respect, his talent. My worry has always been, how will Rafinha react? How will he adjust? But it's very exciting, man. It's very exciting. Look, it's exciting to see this happen. You know, the information was also Gerard Romero initially. No, I think it was Sport actually that broke it here, and Romero confirming it. Let me see the portada for Sport. By the way, hey, he's ours now. Joan Garcia, the clausula has been paid. The 25 million have been handed over, and we have a goalkeeper. That is not little news, guys. That is not little news, but it certainly has been overshadowed by this bombshell that is Nico Williams. But Joan Garcia, fichado. We have a very, very young as well, talented goalkeeper, 24 years old, for the very fair price of 24 million. The question now is, how is that going to translate into the Hansi being able to manage the likes of Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Szczesny, Iñaki Peña? Where will he go? Diego Kochen, Astralaga, Jakobishvili from the B team and under 19s, who are kind of knocking on the door as well of opportunity. Will that see them become second or third goalkeepers for Barça if Iñaki Peña goes, which I think he will likely go, maybe back to Galatasaray, or, you know, I don't know. To be fair, I haven't read much on information on that. But I would imagine that he will be wanting to pack his bags. The big elephant in the room, obviously, is Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I think Szczesny will accept the offer to be the reserve goalkeeper for another season, perhaps two. So what happens to the German? What happens to the team captain? And that's the crazy thing, is Marc-Andre ter Stegen is the team captain at the moment, who definitely does not see himself as a backup goalkeeper. Meanwhile, we are led to believe, and given the skill as well, you know, Joan Garcia was the best goal stopper. It was something crazy, like 146 paradas, stops, on the 196 or 86. No, I think it was 90. Was it 192 goals that shots that he received on target? 146 on 192 or 196 shots on target. This man has stopped. It's very exciting. It's a very exciting time at Barça to see these moves. I think Ter Stegen needed this kind of competition as well. There was his actuaciones, his inputs in certain key games have not always been really up to standard. I think the goalkeeping position has been a weak spot for Barça for some time, and to know that we have that covered with a Joan Garcia, whose also ceiling is. I mean, you're looking at the future goalkeeper for the Spanish national side. That's almost like for sure guaranteed if he obviously keeps up this production. But last season was incredible. Already the season before that, Arsenal wanted to get him. They kind of held out for another year to see if they can were able to get him cheaper. So I think they lost out big time. And it's Barca's gain. He knows also in terms of adaptability, adjustability to the city. He's born and bred, Catalan from Barcelona, from the city. The obvious, in that case, elephant in the room. There are quite some elephants, is the fact that he's Espanol, he's Perico. He has been his whole life. So the clear rivalry there. Again, the Pericos will not take kind upon it. But, Barça is the biggest club in Barcelona. He's not going to have any shade, or I don't think his life will be any worse for it as a result of signing on to the city rivals. Quite the opposite. I mean, more people are going to shower him with love and affection. So I think his life will only improve. But, sports rivalries are what they are. It's understandable. The guy's going to get it's a leap in his progression. It's a step upward in his career. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Back to Nico. Hansi also spoke to Nico, they say. And again, it seems, I want to see if Fabrizio. Oh, dude, how good was this as well? Almost glossed over it without realizing it. Yesterday, obviously, Lamine Yamal on his Instagram posted this picture of him and Nico jumping into each other's arms, celebrating a goal, big smiles on their faces. I mean, that says it all. I should have brought this up when I was talking about the good friendships that Nico has within the dressing room. I mean, he's like best friends with these guys. Balde, Gavi, Lamine, now Hausen as well seems to be getting in the mix. So maybe we'll get Hausen in another year. Anyway, what does this do? It obviously increases excitement. It stirs up rumors. You look at the comments, and some are saying, oh, it's already a done deal. This is obviously fans speculating, and we know nothing of the sorts. But maybe Lamine is just trolling, and it's a se queda moment, You remember that with Piqué and Neymar when he went hashtag se queda, and in the end, Neymar was gone. So I'm not saying that this is a sign that it is a done deal, but it's a sign that it excites the team. It excites his potential future teammates at Barça. So what Fabrizio, the man, the GOAT for transfers, did confirm, which was being reported, is that Barça got the clear message from the player on being open to join the club this summer. There you go. And that Bayern are willing to make an effort. So that's the other thing, is Arsenal as well seems to be interested. But Bayern are willing to pay him obviously a lot more money. They're talking about 10 net, which is 20 bruto, 20 gross, roughly. That's not something Barça is able to pay. So if he were to come, he would, again, this is what the ballpark figures are being tossed around the campfire at the moment, but around the 5 net, which is like 10 bruto, right? 10 gross. I don't know. Obviously, if he wants the money, he would choose the Bayern option, if that is what they would be willing to pay. But if he wants a club that I believe he would have a far better time in playing, I would imagine be more successful in it as well. And it's, between Barça and Bayern, it's the bigger club is Barça. I don't think that anyone doubts that. Nobody would disagree with that Barça has a bigger club than Bayern. He chooses Barça, if it's reputation, if it's all those things. I think also in his case, doing pros and cons, and he's taken off the boxes, he would see Barça would be a better fit. Athletic, in the meantime, just have to sit and wait, right? They'll just have to sit there and wait. Here is the Nico Williams agent confirmation that he was in Barcelona having a meeting, and he's going around speaking with Bayern, speaking with Barça, speaking with Arsenal. We shall see. This is not something that's going to happen fast. This will certainly take its time. It's not going to be easy for Barça. I would imagine, given the I want to talk about this too, given the still financial restrictions that the club is operating under. We're not at the moment on the 1-to-1 rule. That's a fact. We got now the money together to pay the 25 million buyout clause for Joan Garcia. And obviously next is on the list of priorities is the left wing. I love it. I love the fact that we are entertaining these names. The more I get to know about Luis Diaz and what I see over these last few games as well with Colombia, and the game against Argentina was pretty quite electric. It's an exciting name. The fact that remains a top priority. Look, in Hansi, I trust, right? And in Deco, I trust. I think we should give a lot of credit as well at this point to Deco, to how he has been managing and operating under, again, a heavy financial strain. And he's been doing a good job, a lot better than what I was anticipating initially, quite frankly. So, but if the option B is a Nico Williams, man, like, again, I think El Barcelonismo can be very, very exciting. Let me get to some of your questions, and I'm going to keep this stream not too long. I had promised myself and my family. So we're around the 20-minute mark. I think that's good. Thank you again for your comments, Abby and Aram. Yes, I'm going to make sure that that Instagram live feed will be fixed, and the background noises as well, in terms of when I have some of the music playing. Get to the final comment here. Ujwai saying that Rafinha should just leave at this point. Can I remember the last time someone was backstabbed so many times from his own fans and his club? I highly disagree with this. I don't think it's a backstab whatsoever. I think the way that maybe it was set up and taken as well, not communicated, definitely put Rafinha in a position where he was feeling that he was unwanted. I think that's fair to say. I think he's been open about that. I think the fact that he saw certain quote unquote Barça influencers have his, the number 11 with the name of a Nico Williams, he took that personal, as Michael Jordan would say. He took it personal, and he dealt with it in a very Michael Jordan way. He said, look, I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove to you that is my spot, that is my number, and that is my place. This time around, though, I would hope, because we're talking about a Rafinha last year that was coming off of the Xavi era, where also he was not comfortable. He was not himself. That's also a fair thing to say. He spoke about that in an interview, said that he felt that with Xavi, he didn't really know where his position was within the team. As a player, the view that the coaching staff had of him. Now with Hansi, after that conversation, he had a very heartfelt, open conversation, gained the respect, mutual respect, I would say, that grew, this blossomed, this relationship that we saw blossom over the course of the season between Hansi and Rafinha, I think is very meaningful and deep. I don't think Hansi's looking to disturb that at all. I think that he will be able to manage it in such a way where, again, open communication with the Rafinha, talking about also trying out different position, maybe more of a deeper role. He could play behind a Lewandowski as well. Absolutely. I think, he's multifaceted in that regard, and a very flexible or adaptable player that can get used to being in different positions. It's not the youngest anymore. So I think having a younger player that has the speed, the agility to play that risky offensive style of football that Hansi Flick plays will also benefit Rafinha to not have to, commit to making these sprints and run necessarily as much as opposed to having a position that is more behind the number 9 in maybe a false 10 role, more involved with the build up. Although, or just, in front of a Pedri, let's say, and behind a Lewandowski. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I just hope that the club is open about that, transparent about it, and that they go about it in a way where it doesn't come across as, being backstabbing or basically shoving him out, because that's definitely not the intention, nor would he deserve such a treatment at all, by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't see it that way, Sharma, to be quite frank. But we shall see. Egos is a real thing. We see in Madrid, the strategy there has been get as many left wingers as possible. So, I want to think that the club is being more tactful about it this time around. As well as the exit of an Ansu Fati. Is this AI? This looks very AI. It looks like that FIFA dead stare in the distance look. I'm not saying, obviously, Ansu to Monaco hasn't been done yet, but it's Monaco, a.k.a. Real Madrid B, or at least the admin, is such a Madridista and anti-culé. It's not even funny. Or actually, it is very, very funny. They're trying to get together Paul Pogba and Ansu Fati. Think that's an interesting move for the club there. And anything else I wanted to address? Man, do I need to address this? Raúl Asensio, by the way, changing his defense in the ongoing court case for him being involved in the distribution of what is it, like child pornography, basically. It's being called, it's being labeled as, and rightly so, don't get me wrong, but he's still under investigation and being on trial, being convicted for, in the process of being convicted for all the things of distribution, right? And I don't know, man. This is so weird. It's just so bizarre. I can only see these things happen in Spain, man. Basically, he changes his defense. Real Madrid will now represent him in the court case. Surprise, surprise. And they now extended his contract until 2031. So they must be feeling pretty good and pretty confident about their chances of getting him, off the hook, I would say. That's all I'll say about that now. It's a bit of a head scratcher for me, quite frankly, especially because it looked like he was going to be convicted and that sentence is nearing. But now with the change of defense and Real Madrid saying, look, we'll defend you in the court of law. Like, how crazy is that? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Papa Flo and his power, they they absolutely know no limits, no boundaries. En fin, lo dejo aquí, chicos. I'm going to go. I have a barbecue to do. So thank you guys for your questions. Again, those of you joining from the Churros Patreons, our apology, heartfelt apology for not being able to deliver the episode on Thursday. It's highly unfortunate. The blame goes to Google Cloud, and we will make it up to you at the start of next week, as always. So we answered a lot of your questions. It was an hour and a half long, hour and 20, but we got into it. So the question now is, do we make it up, do it again, or just, move on, or maybe do it to you guys, give you the episode on Tuesday. Okay. We will see. Thank all of y'alls once again for tuning in. I wish you all a lovely, lovely weekend. And I'll see you guys Monday, Tuesday. Peace out. Visca el Barça, of course.